Because I've had a couple players, and one of them that played for a couple NHL teams and was very good, and he liked golf a lot more than he liked hockey, and he would miss sessions on the ice. He'd miss sessions in the gym because he thought golf was. He liked it more, but it affected his career. Right, he was more of a golfer, and when you golf, you have a couple beers and all that stuff. So, what was I? Where was I going with that?
You said you were making a point. Easy thing to say.
Oh yeah. So the thing is the main. If you're actually focused on this, the phrase that you want to use is the main thing is to keep the main thing, and that just simply means if I want to get drafted in the NHL, if I want to play, move up in my lineup in the OHL, college, whatever it is, junior, whatever, get drafted, all those things, like the main thing is the main thing. So the main thing is to keep the main thing. Like that's you're eating, sleeping, breathing it. And all your decisions are based around the main thing. So when you want to have a Friday night, late night, 6 or 10 beers, and you got to get up in the morning, you're supposed to, that decision's already made. So the main thing is the main thing. And if anybody else can never understand that, that's not your fault. And the big time stealers, I'm telling you right now, is the guys that are somewhat closest to you. Sometimes it's your teammates. Sometimes it's those guys that they're just like, because some guys are just talented, right? And some guys are not, or some guys are just more focused, but you have to do what's right for you. And if you have let's say you got a couple teammates that want to be in town and all that stuff, it's like you still have to keep the main thing, because you don't know what's good for someone else might not be good for you. So you got to know what that line is. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah. And then focus on that. Like you got to focus on yourself. What's important to you.
Yeah. Cause that's the thing is other people's values are not going to align with yours. Like some people, I got a couple buddies that they live and die by social events, man. And they will sacrifice anything if there's a social event. They will say, oh, I was supposed to go to the gym. No. Oh, I was supposed to go to work. I won't. Or whatever. I'm going to call in sick for that, or I'm going to leave early. I'm going to take a vacation day to make sure that I can be at this thing or whatever. Or I'm going to line up my work days to make sure that I can go out this night and have the next day off to recover from that. Like I don't value that. So for me, like I still value being able to get up on a Sunday and work if I have to. That's what I care about. And those things don't line up. So when you're an athlete, you're training for something and you got buddies that want to golf or want to have a bonfire or want to do whatever. That's their values. That's what they care about. And they'll do whatever to make that work. Yours are different. And if you're the weird one, that's the thing. You're going to be the one that is not the norm because most people are into that kind of stuff,
Yeah. And not everybody is the same. Like, if it's you and I are, let's just say, hey, just come to whatever city you live in. Let's say you live in Oakville. Just come down for the weekend. We'll still get our workouts in. Well, your workouts might not be mine. I've seen that a lot. Some people say workout, and you go, "That's what you call working out?" Oh boy.
Yeah. So it sounds like you'll be on track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not like some guys can not have to lift or be that strong, but some guys have to be. So you have to make sure that you're doing what's best for you. So the main thing is keep the main thing, and focus on what you need, not other people's needs. And because George St. Pierre said this in his book, which actually one of our customers, I've had a couple customers say that they've read that book from us, but he was saying that when he was a fighter, he goes, he had to be the most selfish person. He goes, and it wasn't because he was an asshole, but he had to be because he's the one that either had to get his head kicked in or win. And his life evolved, like everything, the people around him and everything that he did, eat, everything was revolved around him. But it had to be. There was no other way, or else he couldn't be a champion. And that's kind of the way you have to look at it as an athlete, as selfish as that is. Like guys that are married in the NHL, it's like the wife actually comes second. And I know that might come across the wrong way, but if you're an NHL player and you don't work out because your wife's pissy about it, like we don't spend time together, it's like, no, this is how we live our life. Like this is what we have to do. You don't see the kids as much, but it's critical that you do take care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, then your family suffers, right?
Yeah, and you got to decide whether that's worth
Yeah.
it to you or not. That's it.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's a decision.
Yeah,
But if that's what
exactly.
you want, it's like all or nothing. And then to go back right full circle to where we started, how many guys played in the NHL in the
Yeah,
history of the world?
yeah, right.
Right from your city and all that stuff. It's like there's not many, and the chances you take to not do whatever it takes is going to eliminate your percentages of
Oh
making
yeah,
it
for sure.
to whatever level that you're looking at getting to.
Yeah, that's great, man. I think my last little thing is all that stuff's awesome. It's easy to pay attention to the obvious things. So my only side note is also pay attention to the non-obvious things. You know, the golf thing, you said you're going to bed, but you're actually on your phone for an extra hour and a half. You know, the people that steal time from whatever the task is you're trying to do, those things. I just want to put a little stamp on that for people as well, because the big ones that might be a little bit in a sense easier to stay away from because it's so obvious why that would be negative. But it's the scrolling on your phone for 5 hours. It's the extra whatever pickleball that you're playing that you're playing with your buddies. It's
Yeah.
like all that stuff's cool, man. It's fun,
Yeah.
but